We should talk automation. We should talk about the fact that automation is king. Nowadays, when you're working on things, do you really want to be like, oh, something happened. Click, 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 boom, click, 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 click. No. You don't. What you want is a tool that allows you to automate things for you in your work management system, just like SmartSuite. I've worked together with SmartSuite for a while now. They're an amazing platform that allows you to have specifically catered automations in your system that we're going to dive into right now. So for example, if I go to my Sales CRM inside of SmartSuite, then go to the top right here, you can click on automations. So there's a lot of different automations that you get here. So we have things called triggers, and then we have actions. So a trigger is essentially when something happens, then it is triggered. And after the trigger occurs, there's an action that is taken. So for example, we have the following triggers. When a record matches a condition, so essentially since I'm in a solution, it's talking about the ones in the solution. So then we can drill down into the different apps within this solution. So in the solution, we have things like contacts. Let's talk about accounts actually. Let's go to accounts. Yeah, I'd like to say maybe when the prospect then becomes a customer, we'd want to do something. So let's go to the accounts or opportunities section, whatever you think makes more sense. So let's select the field type. So when the type is equal to a customer after they've been a prospect. And then if you press add condition, you can have an and condition. So it could be like, and monthly revenue is greater than, like 1,000, for example. Then the action gets put into place. So someone would manually turn them into a customer. And then after that, what we can do is, for example, we can update other records. So affect things within SmartSuite or do things externally, as well as even find other records within SmartSuite. So find records is interesting because say, for example, we go to find, then we could say opportunities. And within that, we can find records where the account contains, then I click on the trigger, then we can say the contact. So finding is an interesting option there. So essentially what I'd be doing here is saying, okay, so when there is a customer that is created, then it would find records that contain this account and contact having the same name, and then action, you can update the record. So when a record matches a condition, which essentially is what I already did. So when I would click new here, it would be like, oh, find the record. So you have two options in the ways of doing it. I've already manually done it. So then let's go here and do up the field and say opportunities, but then match the contacts. So then I would basically map them together, which is insane that I don't have to manually click around and do that. So shout out to SmartSuite for that. Now, outside of just updating things, or when a record matches it, I could also have on top of that, put in Slack, for example. I have in my workspace a spot that kind of showcases the sales pipeline that I have going on. And this is a place where I could be like, all right, send Slack message saying, hey, in the pipeline, I'm just gonna point out how beautiful this integration is, very simple. So update in the sales pipeline, I can add different fields. Oh, that's so nice. So then I could be like, all right, let's take the actual name, so the account name has become a customer, or I could be like has become and then pick the type, right? So I can press the add button here and do type. So let's do this, add automation, and then let's turn it on just to show you how this would work. So now let's take this prospect of A&P Industries and turn them to a customer. Which you'll see in the automations, this is on. So if I change this to customer, change this to customer, you see this? A&P Industries has become a customer. About and Forever has become a customer. I didn't even have to manually, I can tell the world what happened on my team. And obviously on top of that, we have a bunch of different integrations, but that's essentially how changing something within your SmartSuite would then trigger it from a condition standpoint. Now, the other options are very similar. So for example, when a record is created, so yeah, I can change this to, for example, when we get a new opportunity, right? So let's say we have an opportunity and yeah, that's actually kind of it. I just want to put a new opportunity in there. Then I want to send a Slack message or send an email to a team member, or even in this case, add it to a HubSpot CRM for that kind of person who has HubSpot, or use Salesforce, make a Jira ticket, add a row in a G Sheet if we're archaic and use that. Or maybe every time we have a sync on a new opportunity with team members, we can be like, all right, create update. Start it off with a good old message saying, hey, look at that, we got a new opportunity. And then follow it up with, all right, I want to make a Google Calendar event after signing in with Google, or I can pick a calendar like meetings and then say, okay, I want to do tomorrow or 1 week from now, for example, at 9 a.m. Have it be called new prospect hyphen, and then the name of the prospect, which would be the account name. Look at that. And then make sure to include a Google Meet so that it would be a meeting. And then you can add any fields here like description. You can write down the description here, put some different baseline field information as well, like their company website, their contacts, all that sort of stuff. And then once again, change this to say account name is a new opportunity, save automation. And in the same sense, if I were to go here, add a new prospect, or as productive, add a new prospect here, it would tell us that there's a new opportunity, and we'd see we'd get a new prospect meeting set right up. So just a quick overview of some of the other ways these automation works. I really like the fact that, for one, with forms in SmartSuite, we can make so that automations happen. So for those of you that are unaware, SmartSuite forms are exceptionally cool. They essentially allow you to have somebody input information, and then from there, it goes into your records. Now, what's really cool is the fact that you can then have automations go from there. So this makes a lot of sense from a CRM standpoint, right? You can take the different things and implement the information into your work management platform, but also send email responses and not need an external sort of CRM system, because you can respond with, add action and then connect to Google Mail, right? Have it send an email on your behalf, use a lot of these default fields, and it would automatically go and respond rather than you needing to have an email chain for them in another platform. And on top of that, there is also a really cool choice for add a scheduled time. Now, this is probably one that a lot of people like the most, more for a project management style of things. So we can make it so that we can repeat something like this automation, even from an hour standpoint, every however many hours, days, weeks, months, or just one single time, and then do anything. So recurring tasks, recurring projects, recurring reminders even, we just at a certain time, we just remind people to do stuff via Slack or email. If we want to badger them, so be like, hey, this is the end of the month. Let's make sure we make a task for invoicing. We make a task for reporting, and then we send out Slack messages to those specific stakeholders. I just have to say, not having to do this within Zapier or Make.com is way more convenient. It's connected to the platform. And what's really cool as well is that they're also adding webhooks. So webhooks are coming soon, which means that there's going to be a trigger now that allows you to utilize other tools, webhooks, in order to trigger the start of these automations. I hope you can see that they're continuously leveling up their integrations, and SmartSuite just honestly has impressed me a lot since working with them. So I'd like to thank them again for sponsoring this video, but seriously, if you haven't tried out automations, or you're struggling with your current solution like Notion that doesn't really have these kind of high-level automations, try it out. It really won't disappoint. And neither will this video on how to improve your productivity even more.